They say into your eyes.
Okay, what we're going to do real quick is the Hyundai Elantra ES hotside pipe. Got a couple different couplers here. You're going to have either a stock intercooler or aftermarket intercooler. Our aftermarket intercooler is going to require a different coupler. Today we're going to do the stock intercooler coupler setup. Those are the tools you need: 7mm nut driver, 7mm socket, 8mm nut driver, 8mm socket. Our clamps that come with it are 7mm. They're going to need a 10 and 12mm for impact, or again just a 10 or 12mm to pull the bolts off. We've loosened everything up on the car, so this can go pretty quickly without any delays. We're not going to show you tightening up all the clamps and stuff like that. We're hoping if you're doing this install, you don't need to be shown how to tighten clamps. So let's get started. Here we got the factory hot side pipe. Goes back here to the turbo. Our install replaces the torque pipe, so it's going to be an install. It goes all the way to the turbo, all the way up here to the hot side of the intercooler. So like I said, all the clamps are loose. We just got to pull these two bolts out. You're going to have two bolts here and here. You want to pull those two bolts out. They're already loose, so I'm just going to screw them out with my fingers. Okay. Back here, you're just going to want to give it a good tug. Now, hopefully you can get back here. So you see this clamp back here? Can you see that, Matt? Mm-hmm. So right here, this is kind of a bear to get to, especially if you have the factory cat still in there. So factory cat's going to be a bit of a difficult thing to get in here. You can sneak your arm up here by the engine mount, get up here with a ratchet, loosen that up. Nut driver or something like that, get that loose. Again, this one's loose, so what we're just going to do is just pull that off. Come up front here, pull the front one off. All right, now we're going to put the other one on. Again, really simple. Slide it on back here, get that on the turbo. Come up front, slide that on there. Okay. You're going to want to position it a little bit, make sure you got your clearance everywhere where it needs to be. Go through, tighten down your clamps. You may want to rotate this one so you get the proper angle up in here. Make sure you got lots of clearance right here where it runs through. Get all your clamps lined up. And all you got to do is go through, tighten up your clamps. This install is really about a 15-minute install if you have it on a rack. Sometimes getting the old clamps off can be a bit of a bear, so if you're doing this on the ground with a couple of ramps, I'd say give yourself 2 hours. Just for breaks and crawling around on your back and stuff is no fun, but again, really straightforward. On the dyno we've seen 5 to 15 horsepower between tuned and non-tuned cars, so it really helps. One of the biggest things is you get a little bit more heat dissipation versus the factory one. The factory one has got this just rubberized coating on it, and that rubberized coating traps all that heat in there. You're also eliminating a couple of different boost leak points. Ours comes with 4 clamps, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so you're eliminating 2 clamps in the install. Some people are going to probably ask, why didn't we put brackets on here? Honestly, we didn't see a reason to put the brackets on due to the amount of silicone that's in the front and the rear and the clearances that we have. There's plenty of room for this to move around, and we want the silicone to flex a little bit on each end because we are eliminating this long section here that flexes around quite a bit. So we want the pipe to be able to flex from both sides for clearance reasons. If we were to go through and clamp it down right here, the only spot it'd be able to flex from would be the front, and that would just be a short 60-degree coupler. So again, Hyundai Elantra ES 1.6 liter turbo hot side pipe install. There you go, guys. Real simple, real straightforward.